And I also agree with your zone being big like this. You know, you got to clear out of this whole thing. But at the same time, you could always just flip this over and just be like, I need to close below here. And if I'm going to take anything in this whole thing, it would just be this range that you may end up getting. But we need that break and retest. And I also agree, you got a clean move to the left to get to see how many pips you have. Always super important. You got about 26, 27 pips in that area that you could grab. And then also, I like the fact that you pointed out this and how, you know, what ended up happening once we broke out of the consolidation here. Right? What you did was you were just saying, like, all right, this is the kind of price action you would get. Now I'm looking over here to see what are the clues that we could end up getting over here. Now, this price action looks similar to this right here at the top, right? Now you're seeing this. Price ended up right over here. Price ended up rejecting that level and coming down into this area where it ended up rejecting and getting a last tap over here before continuing up. So that's why you definitely want to wait for the close below this level, because you could very well end up getting the same thing up here, and then price continues right back down from there. But that's where, once we're in this area, you got to start looking over here to see, all right, what could we possibly get? What kind of rejection can we get from this level before price continues down?
Absolutely. So quick thought behind why I had you change your candles all one color.
Yeah.
I've learned that when you start learning to read price action, the candle colors themselves don't really matter if you're truly reading structure. Right? So you should be able to tell whether that's a bull candle, a bear candle, and truly what the structure is.
Sure. One
of the things that we have a habit of doing is once we start to see some of these candles like this one, if you saw that with a big green candle, you're like, oh man, that's a massive bull candle. When you look at it, all it really did was tap back into this previous area of resistance, held resistance, okay? Kind of ranged in here, broke out, came back in, tapped it one last time, collected more orders, and moved away. So it's just challenging myself to read structure without reacting to the color of the candles.
I like it. Like I said, it definitely takes getting used to. Right? I wasn't used to it as we were getting down the lower time frames. It's like, I like to know how these candles right here are closing. Right? Is that a bearish candle? Is that a bullish candle right there that we're rejecting? Or some of these doji candles in here? Like, how are we flipping here? Are we even flipping? You know, so as a scalper, I could see how that could get confusing. But I do like the fact that you added that challenge onto yourself and broke the charts down this way. I think it's cool. Where'd you get that from?
It was there was a trader a while back. I forgot what his name is. He's on Instagram.
I feel like I've heard of this before. Like,
you see him on there, and he has all his candles are either gray or black. He has no color on his chart. And he's like, listen, when you learn to read price action, you learn to read market structure, the color of the candles are irrelevant. If you're truly trading structure, you should be able to read it no matter what color the candle is.
Sure. Hey, it makes sense. Makes sense, man. But great job on the breakdown, Kyung. Great job on the breakdown as well. You know, you obviously you probably feel like there's a lot of progress there as far as the way you were breaking the charts down and the levels that you were marking down. But you do see room for improvement. So we're just gonna keep doing that. Just keep volunteering every single morning, because eventually you're gonna get to the level Bear is right now because of how fast and efficient he's able to do this and how confident he is behind the breakdowns. This only comes with practice. So the best thing that you know right now is the fact that you can control how much better you get. You control your mindset. So just keep pushing and keep getting better. Keep volunteering in the morning when we're breaking down trades or charts, and you're going to get much better. Damn, now I gotta change all this shit back, Jamie.
Yeah, you're gonna have to create a different profile for me, man.
Yeah, right. What's up, guys? We got Sharma's group in here.
How's it going?
Going great.
What's going on, fam?
Good job, Jamie.
Thank you, Queen. But where's Harsh?
Is he not in yet?
Good
morning, sir.
Oh, there
There
you
he is. All right. Just making sure you're on your game, brother.
Oh, definitely. Thank you.
Who's Harsh?
Harsh is my brother, so you know I told you about the transition?
Yes.
So
What's up, man?
he's gonna be taking
How's it going,
over.
man?
Doing great, man. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Fantastic. Same.
I'm excited for your little journey here.
Oh, man. Same here. She's finally putting me on the spot now.
It's awesome. You got it, man. You definitely, you're in good hands right now. All right, so let's break down GJ and Gold. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record to our group right now, but we're going to get better from it. So, just going to readjust some of these levels here. As you guys know, I got the historical levels. Damn, you know what? I want to break down Gold first, because we possibly have an opportunity, and it's something that we've been pointing out. I know, Sharma, we didn't do our breakdown this week together, but
Yeah.
I think this is something we both would have pointed out. If not, we did it last week, where you're looking at the lower highs being created here on Gold from the 2008, but the Russia-Ukraine conflict ended up right over here. So we ended up getting this push up. Towards the end of February, the Fed comes in and announces that they're going to be increasing rates. So immediately get profit taking from that area and a hard rejection coming back down to 1900, right? We bounce off that level, we create this lower high over here at 2000, and then we continue right back down, creating a new low. You get the slight pullback, and then another impulsive move coming right back down, creating a new low. Same thing, retest the previous high, just like we did over here. Retest the previous high, then we push right through, create this low, and then we get this pullback coming into this area, right? And then all of a sudden from that area, you get a strong weekly candle close right there. Now to start the week off, this candle was bullish with no bottom wick. It was just holding support here, pushing up. And what did we say? We said this on Monday when we were breaking the charts down. This candle could reject this area at any point and end up rejecting that area to continue right back down. That's exactly what it's doing. So it passed the low, and we're just continuing down right now. Looking at the daily, we're also in the, I would say, halfway point of the week. So right now, first part of the week, we ended up creating that top wick. Second half, we're flipping and passing the low of the previous. So now, as I was breaking down for our guys over here, same thing that happened over here, where we end up retesting the previous support and holding resistance. We get this first impulsive move down, and then we pull back. Impulsive move down, pull back. Same exact thing. So right over here, you're getting the retest of the previous resistance. Impulsive move down, we expected some kind of a pullback once either reaching this level here or this level, and that's exactly what we got. And then after that, you end up getting a strong resistance holding with that candle close and a wick to fill, which ended up getting filled. Perfect setup right there, depending on what the lower time frames look like right here to take this sell.
We broke that down a couple of weeks ago in our weekly outlook, where price was holding on to, we're coming back into the 1680, and then we need a retracement back into 1700, or like, around 1680, and then continue pushing down. But that's the same thing that I broke down this week too.
So yeah, like I said, I feel like you either already did, or if we did our breakdown this week together, we both would have been calling this out.
Yeah.
So you end up getting the low created down here, right? A little pullback, same exact thing that happened over here. It's just this one was a little bit more extended, and then we continue right back down. So now you get the clean move to the left, coming right back down into this area. And I was breaking down for the group before that if this was the 30-minute and we had volume, this would be a trade I would take all day long to retest this low, right? But this is the daily, so you could really swing this thing and catch a nice 2.5 to 1 by retesting this wick, and eventually maybe even holding in the runner, because you know there's a good possibility that we could push through. 4 hour. What's up, Justin? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Alright. So now, what you ended up having over here again was you were getting like legit pullbacks, right? Before then continuing right back down to create a new low. Legit pullback before doing the same thing. So now over here, what you're getting is the resistance held up in this area, which we can mark off to the left over here, on the higher time frames. You're getting that resistance held, but you're getting these pullbacks, but you're still keeping the bearish pressure, right? We're still holding these lower highs over here. So you're sitting in this channel, price just keeps pushing down over here, and you keep getting these hard bearish candle closes, right? Like big bearish candle closes in these areas, and then once you get this, I'm just gonna mark off a few levels. You had a previous support right in here. You had this support right here. Now we broke through. You had the clean move coming down. We'll see if we have any pit stops here to the left before reaching 1614, 1615 here. But we could very well get some kind of a pullback in this area. But I'm looking for, look here, just adjust this. I was looking for some kind of a pullback, which we could still be getting. But what you have here is this previous support, right, with this wick. Price ends up creating this clean move to the left, which we mirrored, but we ended up rejecting this level multiple times. Right, all these candles ended up rejecting before we get the lower high, and before we get this strong bearish candle close right here, and then the weak bullish candle close. You wait for the top wick to form, and you either wait for a close below this level or high volume to push us through these wicks and continue down. I think Jamie had a great live back test on this morning. So, right over here, what you get is the impulsive move down. You create the low, strong bounce off the area, and then a complete engulfing candle of that that bullish candle, right? So we still hold support here, right? But we have these weak bullish and bearish candles. Then you get the volume coming in at 6 a.m. You see the volume in the candle, it's breaking its own lows, then it starts to break through these wicks. Your only question is am I comfortable taking this without the close below this area? But right now, I think with a lot of these strong bearish closes and the way we've been pushing through, that you could very well push through that area, which we ended up doing so. Now that we're on the 30-minute, I would actually just adjust this. Yeah, somewhere around there. But right now, what I'm looking for on gold is just like a pullback. Unless we get a close here, see what the 15-minute looks like. Like, can we continue this thing down? I have 1630 marked off. So look to the left for, here we go. 1630 I could see being a significant level here, but at the same time you get a clean move here, and then through 1630 you get this clean move coming right down into that support right there. So we could very well mirror this whole candle coming down. Question is, do you want to sell right down here? Really depends on how we close here. 15-minute is going to close in 10 seconds. So, do you want to take this continuation down, or do you want to wait for price to hold that support right here and continue up to get a further pullback and then continue down? Alright. I would really wait for price to start breaking these lows over here before taking anything. If this is the 30-minute, I would wait for a top wick to form and then price to flip bearish, but that would be a risky entry as well. So far in the 15-minute, we did hold a resistance. So I can see us getting that further pullback. Coming up into here, and then we continue down. Alright, what do you guys think?
I want to see a top wick and push back down, and the reason why is because when you come onto the 30-minute time frame, we just tapped into, we're on the 30, but we just tapped into the support, and we haven't broken below that. And so that's why is there's just going to be a liquidity grab, and then price pushes back up, into these areas as a corrective move of this entire sell-off. or can we finally see like a topic rejection here on the next 15, maybe just to test these highs and then continue pushing back down?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and I feel like a lot of people would get FOMO around here, but this is what you want to happen. Right? What Sharma just said. You want this pullback because now you can sell at a higher price. You guys are business owners trying to sell a product. You want to sell it higher instead of selling it, at the low of the market. All right, so everybody clear on gold? You guys ready for GJ? And one. All right, Jamie, have a great day, all right, buddy?
Yes, sir. Let's eat.
Hold on one second.
Does anyone have any questions? Everyone understood everything that we were talking about?
Yes, no questions.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. That's the only question I had.
Right. I think this week we're going to have to be extremely careful with these setups because mostly they're from a technical perspective. There's not much happening from an economic data perspective because last couple of weeks we had a lot of economic data coming out. We had a lot of news coming out. We've seen massive movements. But we're also in pretty oversold conditions for a lot of these pairs. US 30, gold, all of that. Alright, let's see if this 15 can flip.
Hey guys, sorry about that. Someone was in my apartment.
You good?
Yeah, no, we're good. That threw me off. Alright, so were you guys talking or going over something?
We're talking about US 30 and gold and a lot of similar pairs being in those oversold conditions.
Okay.
So we have to be very careful this week because there's not a lot of economic data that's coming out. In the last couple of weeks, we had a ton of news coming out, and we've seen massive movements because of that.
Yeah, 100%. So let's bring down GJ over here. So the weekly again ended up rejecting some of these areas up here, like 170, 170, 600. What I had marked off over here is this weekly wick to the left. You got this clean move, this clean candle, but coming up into that area, we know that wick's going to be a resistance. So right over here, that's kind of what I have marked off, but we rejected 170, and now we're kind of, consolidating around 168. So looking at the daily now, daily, 168, this whole area, I would say, is holding a strong support, so far at least. Alright, we're going to end up adjusting this as we go down the time frame, but 168, 500, get that resistance right there, and then you got 168, obviously the psychological number. So if we create this high up here, are we pulling back and gonna hold support here to continue up? Or are we gonna break back below, mirroring this candle, continuing back down to 166? Looking at the 4 hour now you start to see this whole area, this whole resistance right here. That's why I kind of split it into two, because you have our current price action right here. One of them is a support right over here, and then one of them is 168, which we could very well mark off right here as well. So we get the high created, price holds support resistance, get the lower high formed, strong bearish candle close below support right here, top wick rejection, and the candle flip bearish and pass the low of the previous candle, but now we're starting to reject 168. So what's going on here on the 4 hour? Alright, so now we can just adjust this. Got our previous support was a new resistance. We started pushing down from that area, retesting these lows, but now we have 168. Obviously you can make this big too, but we got this support right here that we need to break below before continuing this right back down, because I believe on the on the 30 minute, the 1 hour, you can see that this is no longer a tradable range. I would stay out of this now. If you didn't grab this move after the bearish candle close and this move coming down, you're out of this range, right? You want to wait for the break below here to continue down, or possibly this, but this is more of a cautious zone. Actually, you might be able to grab something in here. If we end up holding a strong support right here and price pushes back above and we hold support, you could grab something coming back up, right? But at the same time, you're really in this range. You're just basically playing this price action right here, hoping that it would be better than this, but you're gonna end up getting this bounce over here if that's the case. You very well get that bounce, and price could very well continue right back up. Make sense?
Let's do it.
Yeah, awesome. You want to break down US 30?
Yes, I can.
Sure.
Give me 1 second.
Sure. We got in here. Got Jen. Lewis. What's up, Lewis?
Alright. Here we are.
Oh, KB. I didn't even see KB. Oh, there he is. Justin?
What's going on? What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Good, bro. Much better today, man. How's everything with you?
Everything is great. It is amazing.
Alright, so let's go ahead and break down US 30. You guys have any questions, just let me know. So similar higher time frame levels as the last couple of times. Price has come back and tapped into this 28,800 mark. This is what I was talking about, even from a higher time frame perspective, the fact that we're in these oversold conditions, where this is the same exact level price came back and tapped into in 2020 before that massive sell-off. Nice top wick rejection and then a massive pushback. Even after all this liquidity that was injected, just from a price action perspective, and then you also had fundamentals and economic data coming out, where we started to tap into the same exact level once again, a nice little pullback. Resistance right here for all this consolidation now has become support, and then finally we break above this area. That's the same exact area that we're back in right now. And when price was sitting at some of these key levels up into like that 30,800, almost 30,000 levels last week, we got the sentiment even from the big banks that they were expecting CPI to continue increasing, and that that translates into the central banks also increasing their interest rates. Now the discussion is it going to be a 75 basis point hike, or is it going to be a full percentage hike, and are they going to continue increasing their range from like that 4.75 to 5 to maybe even something higher? So from that point there were already massive sells, right? And you can see that from these liquidity grabs all the way from this top area where price was consolidating out, grab that liquidity, push back down. We essentially did the same thing here, respected the previous resistance, and then another massive sell-off. So all this that's pushing up from down here, nothing has changed from a fundamental perspective, nothing has changed from a market sentiment perspective. Their inflation is still increasing, they're still going to increase those interest rates as well, and they're still going to be aggressive about it. But the fact that we're bouncing off of such key areas, and because of the massive sell-offs, obviously from a technical perspective, you need to come back, you need to grab liquidity, you need to correct those moves before just continuing to push down. So when we're looking at these levels, we just want to make sure that we're keeping in the back of our mind that this is a very key level based off the monthly time frame. And so when price bounces off of this, we can't just expect to take, those 5-minute, 1-minute entries. We need those proper confirmations for swing trade opportunities. Then we're going to go ahead and drop down to the weekly time frame. Another level that I'm going to mark off will be this 30,000 mark. So we had the 30,800, and then we had 28,800 from the monthly time frame based off the weekly. We have these support areas right here, and then nice push up. Same thing here, nice push up. So if we can break below 30,000, then we have those potential swing trade sell opportunities coming down to 28,800. But we could catch some sell opportunities from the rejection of 38,800 as well. It's just that you would probably want to secure and majority of your trade, and then make sure that you're not entering more sells until this 30,000 here is broken. You go ahead and drop down to the daily time frame, and this is where we're holding on to a resistance right into these areas. You got that nice resistance, nice top wick rejection. So what I want to see is like a 4-hour bearish candle close here, and then the next candle pushing us back right down into this 30,000 mark, or even a break and retest. But notice how in this key area you have a lot of wick rejections, but you also have a lot of liquidity. If you ever want to check liquidity, look at the following candles and look at the volume that tends to follow. So we drop down to the 4-hour. You got a nice resistance there. The next candle takes you down. We're breaking below now this minor resistance that we have. So this is what we need to wait for. If price can continue breaking below the zone, you got those clean sells coming back down into this 30,000 mark. But you want to make sure that you're not getting stuck in any fake out where we've had this nice bottom wick rejection, but price push right back up into consolidation here. So for that, go ahead and drop down to the hourly. You wait for this hourly candle close. We got about 30 more minutes. Let's see if we can continue pushing down. The only reason why I would be a little bit conservative on the current candle is because there's no top wick rejection. And also the fact that look at how many times price has tapped into this area, right? And then it rejects off of it heavily. And so that's why you wait for the candle to close below here and then the next one to take you down. Drop down to the 30. You have a little nice break and retest here for me, but again, you wait for the candle to close below this in the next minute or so and see if the following candles have enough volume to continue pushing, or are we going to close right into this area and the next candle gives you a little bit of a bottom wick and we push right back up into this consolidation. Remember, there's not a lot of economic data that's coming out for US 30 today, so you want to be extremely careful. I think on Thursday is when we have the manufacturing data coming out, right?
Which day?
Thursday? Tomorrow?
Thursday.
Yeah, so tomorrow we have the manufacturing index coming out. So that could give you some volume to continue breaking out of this consolidation if you don't get the opportunity today. Drop down to the 15. Same thing here. You've had a nice break and retest. Price rejects into this area, pushes right back up. That's exactly where we are in right now. So be very careful in your guys' trade opportunities. Make sure that you're using the 1 hour, 4 hour daily time frames, even with gold, right? Because we're headed right back down into that 16-15 area or so. And so that's another oversold condition. So you have to wait for those retracements. If you look at gold, there's been massive sell-offs that have been happening. So if you come here, come onto the daily time frame, that's just a massive sell-off that has been happening, right? So coming back into these previous lows, we want to be extremely careful. Same thing on, the weekly, and then the monthly, just straight bearish. There hasn't been any corrective move here. All right, all your stuff. Go for it.
Thank you. It looks like we're getting a little pullback here on GJ. But we did close bearish, but we keep rejecting this level. We did 3 candles in a row here. There it is. this whole level. I like this close, but at the same time, this whole level, again, safe sells below this area, but I am looking at gold here. We ended up closing on the 30-minute with a wick to fill. 15-minute ended up rejecting that level hard, this support right here hard. Is anybody looking at taking sells here? I keep rejecting this level. We got that 5-minute close bullish at that support. This candle rejected the level as well. Gotta see if this candle ends up closing bearish. But you do have the top wick on the 30-minute already, and a strong 30-minute candle with a wick to fill. Anyone looking at this? Once we get the closure below, I think there's an opportunity. I like it.
I was looking at it, but I don't feel very confident about it.
Yeah, you know gold, it could reject this level pretty hard and continue back up. But I like the setup.
I caught the earlier move around 2 a.m., so I'm not too trigger happy right now. I'm kind of content.
Yeah, that'll do it for you. Yeah, look for that close below here. If you haven't gotten in yet. This looks great though. But you know that once you get like this 5-minute candle close below support right here, if you could wait those 3 minutes, you know that we're now continuing the direction here and continuing down.
I actually took the entry as soon as price broke that support, and that's because we're also pushing on the hourly time frame and the 30-minute time frame.
I like it. So let's see this continue down here. How's YouTube doing?
YouTube is good, no questions so far.
Got an audience?
Yep, we got 16 people.
Oh, nice. Okay. Questions?
Nothing yet.
As far as gold for me as well, it's just a little bit of a bigger stop loss than I usually use.
What, like above here? Got it above resistance?
Yeah, it's just a little too much for me.
Where's your stop loss, Sharma?
Mine is at 1636.
Sense. Hard rejection here on the 5. On the 1 minute.
Sharma, where did you say your entry was on gold?
1633. So I'm using Hugo's way. Mine's a little behind on what we're seeing here on TradingView. So when I saw TradingView dropping and trying to break below this little support on the 5-minute, that's when I just went ahead and took an entry.
Gotcha.
Still waiting on US 30 though. That's the one that I would go in with, like a 2% risk.
This is gold for you.
I'm still scared of US 30.
Is that something you would get into at all?
I haven't traded US 30 in over a year. When I hear it, I kind of, I'm like,
PTSD?
Absolutely. Gold and GJ have been decent to me. I am trying to pay more attention to the US 30 breakdowns and whatnot, but it's very volatile, just like gold is.
Yeah. I think crazier than gold.
In my broker, every pip is $1 on my lowest lot size.
US 30 is interesting, isn't it?
You could call it that.
Yeah, gold will do this often. We'll start tapping into these areas, and it looks like we're continuing down, and then it just flips. The 5 minute ended up closing above that level over here, and we rejected it again. So I could see us getting this further pullback as long as we push through these levels. We could get that further pullback to 1638.
US 30 is pretty fun though, because when you start understanding the moves and like, you know, those retracements and stuff, like why are they happening? I know I think on Friday and even the beginning of the week, it had a lot of people confused, like why are we continuing, like still pushing? But once you start to understand all of that, then you can already kind of predict like what are the movements that we could expect to see when, you know, fundamentals come out, and the type of fundamentals too that you'll see coming out.
I'm slowly working my way back
Yeah.
into having the confidence for it.
KB was just talking about potential sells here.
Yeah, so what I want to see, I was just looking at US 32, is I want to see like a break and retest below the zone before an entry for US 30.
You said you'd break a retest for you?
Yeah. At least like on a 15-minute time frame.
Yeah. 15. You need that close below here. Actually, just like move that right there. Once you get that close below that level, you're safe. And retest.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any questions?
This is one of those weeks where like you really have to practice your patience. When you start to see like, you know, a couple of weeks of consecutive moves where you could take like buys or sells, but there's like really good clean candles with volume. After that, you can always expect like there's gonna be at least 1 week of just, you know, straight consolidation or like, you know, just ranging price action in general.
It tests you.
For sure. It's also like you have to continue grabbing those orders, right? Continue collecting those orders, especially at key levels. Alright, I've exited my entire gold trade here now.
Yeah, it looks like it may have just been grabbing liquidity to create that lower high.
Mm-hmm.
You can expect that anytime after a strong push like this, most of the time when you start seeing candles start to reject a certain area, especially on the lower time frames, that you're going to get this pullback into here. Just like you got right here. And then price continued down. So I would love a retest of this low, but I want that pullback.
Yeah, I've already taken 2 trades today, so if I'm going to take a third one, I'm waiting for a perfect setup.
Okay.
You take 3 entries per day, Justin?
I take 1 to 3 trades, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
If the first 2 are winners, I can take a third. If the first 2 are losers, no third.
So if I get 2 winners, it's got to be the best setup for me to jump back in. But I like the way you do that, though. I like the, you know, no more than 3 trades a day. Like, absolutely. I always say for, like, beginners just starting out or, you know, just traders not really confident in their edge, stick to just 2 trades per session, right? But, like, if you're a little bit more advanced and you know your setups inside and out, you can trade 3, but you can't beat human psychology. So once you start trading over 3 or 4 trades, it starts to get a little sticky when it comes to, you know, handling your emotions. It's a lot harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the 1 to 3 trades just really helps build up my discipline for now.
Yeah. got to come into the market knowing you only have 1 to 2 opportunities, maybe 3. Good old gold. Hold on, guys. There's a lot of shit going on in my house right now. I'm gonna have to hop off here. But with that being said, if anybody has any questions, please reach out to us on Instagram or YouTube through the comments or emails, and we most certainly will help you if you need help right now. If you guys are on YouTube, but guys, thanks for showing up. I just got a lot of people in my house right now that I gotta figure out. All right.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you guys on.